California, they've fully opened up the state for delivery, allowing delivery in all jurisdictions. Doesn't matter where you live. That's not the case in Colorado. Colorado is jurisdiction by jurisdiction opt-in. I think there's only 5 or 6 out of 280 plus that have opted in. The rest of them, half of them probably don't even know that they could do delivery. They don't, it's going to be a long learning curve there and a long time before either all the jurisdictions opt in or there's a change to the rules that just allows for it statewide, which I think would be the best case scenario. I think that's an important aspect to touch on because one of the things I've learned since we started doing delivery, a lot of people have accessibility issues when it comes to getting into the stores, whether it's for choice, they don't want to come to the store, or they really have serious issues and can't come to the stores. They're not being serviced properly. I can speak to 4 or 5 different communities that we service as a delivery company that don't necessarily go to the stores and are thrilled about this, but they can only be serviced in Denver and Aurora currently versus everywhere they live. So that seems to be unfair. There's also people who get injured. That accessibility, I go to the store once a week. I work in Denver. I live in Englewood. I break my arm. I can't go to work for a month. Now I can't buy cannabis. So that doesn't make any sense either. There's an accessibility issue there. So I think that would be a huge change. The other thing that's different, or at least that lays out the rules kind of in Colorado, there's you're not allowed to deliver to commercial businesses or hotels. In California, you are. That makes a big difference. There's a huge tourist population here in Colorado, people coming to Denver and into the mountains and can't deliver to those places. I would say half of our calls that we get are from people at hotels, and the other half are people that are in other jurisdictions that don't allow for cannabis delivery or have stores. So one of the other things that here the model is for, especially in Denver, is for a third-party transporter to work with a store. So we're a no-premise transporter. We can't set up a warehouse and just deliver from the warehouse like you can in California. We can't set up a pizza truck model and deliver from the back of a truck. We have to partner with a store, deliver their inventory. They're transacting the sale. And we're kind of the third portion of that, 3-spoke wheel, let's call it, that brings products to people. Here in Colorado, we also have to own the vehicles, employ the drivers. California allows for drivers to use their own vehicles, be contractors. So those are some of the key challenges that we face. As I mentioned, we were talking the licensing fees are exorbitant here in Colorado.
Even as a social equity licensee?
Yeah, for the medical and retail delivery to get licensed at the state and local level cost us $28,000.
Oh, so, wow. So for both licenses, state and city, because we have a dual supply chain.
Yeah, state, city, medical, and recreational.
Wow.
So
wow.
Yeah, $28,000.
That's an investment.
It's very expensive. It's a one-time fee. As most expenses that we have, the cars, our insurance payments, most expenses, you and I have in life, they're monthly payments. That's not the case with your license fees. It's a one-time large payment. So.
Yeah, and then all that upfront cost of your own vehicles and everything else, like you said, insurance, as we know, insurance loves to add that green tax to it too. So just a lot of upfront costs. And just to unpack like the operations a little bit. So essentially to recap what you said, so there is a retail storefront that is a separate license. They may be medical and adult use, which means they're going to have 2 licenses under that one facility. And then they enter a partnership with you to be the transporter to take that inventory to the consumer. And that retailer is also the one managing their point of sale, their metric, responsible for all the inventory control and cycle counts and things like that. So you're essentially that messenger going from the storefront to the consumer.